Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangundam Bhagavate Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. So we were looking at the Jnanam as the one which frees us from the very kartrutvam which we wrongly see in ourselves. Then Bhagavan is praising this Jnana. Like I said already, for doing Vaidika karma, even many Laukika karma, there are many qualifications. Not everybody can do some particular type of activity. For example, some Vaidika karma, it says you have to be a Krishna Kesha, means you have to have black hair. Only you can do. Maybe nowadays you can dye your hair and also do it or not, I don't know. Even in those days, they would have had some kind of a dye, I think. It's not that because our people had Natya Shastra and they talk about makeup and whatnot. So, but anyway, the idea here is for Jnanam, anybody can take it up, whether you are a brahmachari or a grihastha or vanaprasthi or sannyasi, or even those who are patita, like you say, those who have fallen in terms of their behavior and whatever they have done, correct? Those who have done wrong things or evil things, let us say. So, even the most uh, whatever you have done, correct? If it is the most evil, let us say, that is not correct. Something you have done so many wrong things, but still such a person also can cross over this. This, in fact, Bhashyakara says this Vrijinam means Vrijin Arnavam. He says it is the ocean of Papa. That all of us have so much accumulated Papa anyway. So there is no way of neutralizing all that. Correct. Here, crossing over this Papa means you are not actually resolving it or neutralizing it. Understand that? It's not like, see, in the context of Jyotisha, correct? You go to any astrologer. What will they say? Okay, there is some Papa is there. Either you have done something in previous life, you have killed a snake, so you have some Naga dosha, or you have not done any karma towards your pitris, they are all angry. Means they are telling you some kind of a prayaschitta they will tell, correct? That is the idea of a astrologer. In fact, even the way we approach the astrologer, we should have some clarity. I think many people don't have that clarity. The thing is, Jyotisha is a Veda Anga, correct? And the important thing we have to understand with reference to Jyotisha is they are not predicting your future. That is the mistake people make. Jyotisha is not about predicting your future. Nobody can predict your future, in fact. But Jyotisha is telling you what will happen if everything goes only according to your prarabdha. Because Jyotisha is a model which is only predicting your prarabdha. Means what karma has started is linked to your whatever. We have a certain model that at the time of your birth, whatever chart is there, and however whatever these heavenly bodies are moving, based on that, we can predict your prarabdha. But the prarabdha, whatever is there in the prarabdha alone will happen, we cannot say because you have some free will. It can even be worse than your prarabdha because you are collecting more papa. Or you are doing something to take care of that prarabdha, correct? Whatever, at least the papa in the prarabdha, you want to take care of it. That's how even prayaschitta is possible, correct? If prayaschitta is possible, then nobody is really predicting the future. Understand that? They can only say if you do all these things will not happen. That also is a problem for many people. Why? They say that I did all these things, nothing happened. That for nothing to happen, only you have done all these things. Correct. So the Jyotisha according to our Shastra is that Jyotisha Shastra is one. So they will also say, see, according to this, your life should have been like that and all. That means they are only talking about the prarabdha. The Jyotisha is basically a model to, it has certain correlation with the your prarabdha we have to see. Some people take it literally as causation and all that, which is also a little weird, I think. Nobody can know whether really Saturn sitting somewhere is causing something in you and all that. This is what modern people ridicule. This again is a problem because I think we don't know how to present our Shastras, traditional knowledge properly. Basically, it's a correlation. Any model can predict something through correlation. That doesn't mean there is a causation or anything. Even if there is a causation, we have no way of proving it as of now, so we don't have to talk about it. But correlation is something anybody can study. Nowadays, with artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that, if you have a large data set, we can even arrive at these principles that when these things are there like this, for most of the people, these things are happening. That kind of a correlation anybody can establish even with a study with data and all that. And it is true also, right? Many times you go to the astrologer, they can predict what has happened in your life quite accurately, at least the good ones, I'm saying. And then they give you some prayaschitta, means you are neutralizing the papa. Now, is it what Bhagavan is talking about here? Like, you get over your papa like that means that is impossible. Understand that. Because the papa itself is limitless. The Sanchita karma is so much, or even within the prarabdha karma also, all papa you cannot do get prayasita. Understand that. There is something called prabala prarabdha also. Many times, certain things are so strong that it will happen. Whatever you do, certain things will happen in your life. Certain things you can take care. Correct? It is more like this prarabdha versus free will thing. People always ask this. But the best analogy to understand is that your prarabdha is like the river flowing. Correct? Now you are swimming in the river. That is your life. So of course, if where you want to go is downstream, your prarabdha is helping. That is means that is like your punya is helping you. But where you want to go is upstream means the prarabdha is all papa only. Whatever effort you put, even to stay at the same place is a difficulty, correct? Or many times you feel you have put lot of effort and you are in the same place. But even that is happening only because you have put in lot of effort, right? If you are swimming against the current, whatever effort you may put, it may feel as though like you are in the same place or you may be even 10 feet downstream still. Okay, that you will know only if you have practiced swimming against the current. In fact, in this Ganga and all, nobody can swim against the current. Only even if you get caught, you have to at least keep your head up and try to just go along with the flow. Correct. So what I am saying is that flow is your prarabdha. If you are able to go along with the flow, nothing is going to bother you really. But people are generally struggling. Means they are all going against the current. So the astrologer and all is only helping you to go against the current to an extent. And it will work, it may not work also. Even after doing the prayaschitta also, sometimes it's not enough. Whatever punya you have created to resolve the papa may not be enough. But sometimes it works. I have seen those who have done prayaschitta, certain things have happened for them, which look very improbable otherwise normally. So uh, these things are there, but what the point I wanted to make is Bhagavan is not talking about neutralizing papa like this. He's talking at a different level. He says if you are an akarta, then there is no papa anyway, correct? So it is like you are in a dream. You have done a lot of murders and all that in the dream. Okay. Unfortunately, you are caught by the police also. Now you are in the court, you are fighting your case and all that. Then the judge has given you death sentence. You are so upset, but you wake up because of that. They are all dragging you to the to hang you. At that time you wake up. Now what do you find? Arey, I did all this papa. Nothing is true, correct? I was never the doer. There is no papa really. That is the kind of thing Bhagavan is talking here, correct? You find one day that you are not even a karta, then what about whatever you have done? All that is not doesn't count anymore, correct? It is not even there in the picture. It's of a different order of reality. That's what we have to understand. The aham akarta iti jnanam alone can totally free you from any papa and punya also we have to add. Whenever papa is there, I am telling you, it's not just papa, correct? You are not subjected to any papa, any punya, because you are not a karta bhokta. That is the knowledge here Bhagavan is talking about, which even the worst papi, okay, papishtaha, like that Bhashyakara uses the word. Amongst papi also, this guy is the greatest or worst, we have to say, correct? Papishtaha. So even if you are a papishta, this jnana can free you. But of course, for that again, even though you are a papishta, you have to still go through the process, correct? You have to find a guru, you have to prepare yourself for this knowledge. All that is required. But it is also a praise of the knowledge, you can take it as. The knowledge itself is praised because it frees you from everything. So you can cross the entire ocean. That's what I told you. It is not even really you are crossing, you find that there is no ocean at all. That is the better analogy, I think. Here, Bhagavan is giving jnana plave naiva santarishyasi. Means you will cross over using jnana as a raft or a boat. What I say is, in reality, you don't, one fine day you find there is no ocean at all. There is nothing to cross really, in fact. That is the reality. So now continuing, Bhagavan actually tells you how this happens. Okay. यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. So यथा एधांसि समिद्धः अग्निः, okay, भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन. So this agni is there, okay, and it burns all the fuel, whatever you give. In fact, Agni is called Analaha. It's a very interesting Sanskrit word, correct? Because in Sanskritam, Alam means enough. Alam. Even while eating, you can say Alam. It's a good thing, I think. But the Agni never says enough. Whatever, how much ever fuel you give, it keeps on taking it, taking it, taking it. It never says enough. In fact, one of the reasons they praise Annadana is because only in Annadana you can make the fellow say Alam. Enough. If you give money, how much ever money you give, they may keep on, they'll receive it or they want more. But food you give, only so much anybody can eat. After that, you have to say Alam. Enough, I am satisfied. So you can make the fellow Triptaha. So they actually Annadana is praised for that because Annadana is a way of making the other person say, okay, enough, I don't want more. Anyway, so the Agni is something which does not say enough. So here Yedhamsi means what? This wood, firewood and all that, dry wood, like that we can take. And also Samiddaha means that Samiddaha Agnihi means here well lighted fire also. So again here, the Agni itself, if it is very feeble, means it can be put off very easily, correct? So even we say that the wind, if the Agni is small, wind is an enemy, it will come and put it off. But if it is well lighted Agni, wind becomes a friend then. Wind will start spreading it everywhere, it becomes even more dangerous. In fact, it can burn down the entire forest and all that, our neighborhood. Even recently, there was some very bad fire in Hawaii and all that. Many people died. I don't know whether you knew that. So this last week or something, there was a devastating fire there. Even all modern fire brigade and all cannot do anything if the Agni is of that proportion, correct? In fact, they stupidly told people don't get out of your homes. And many people died. They were all burnt in their own homes because they didn't leave that neighborhood. Like that. Anyway, so this Agni burns everything, means it doesn't leave anything. It reduces everything to ashes. Similarly, what? This Jnana Agnihi, Jnanam eva Agnihi. Okay. This Jnana Agni also reduces all your actions, results of your actions also we have to take here. Particularly action means karma phala only. This Papa Punya, they are all burned. So for the Jnani, there is no karma because Jnani sees oneself as does not see oneself as a karta. Along with the Jnanam alone, everything is gone. In fact, from the Jnani's own standpoint, Jnani does not have any karma. Whether it is Sanchita, Prarabdha, or even Agami. We say three types of karma, correct? The accumulated past karma, whatever karma which has started this life, and whatever karma which may fructify later. Now, in this context, Bhashyakara puts a note, but you have to understand. He says, yes, Jnana burns all karma, but whatever has already started, that force of that prarabdha is still there, means that prarabdha is still not gone. Because if the prarabdha karma also is gone, means this body itself will not survive. Understand? You get jnana means gone. That's it. Straight away. Videha mukti only. So the implication of that is a problem because Bhagavan has only just said before that jnaninas tattva darshinaha upadeksyanti. Correct? The jnanis, tattva darshis will teach you tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya and all Bhagavan has said before. Means there has to be jnanis to teach. Otherwise, this parampara itself will not be there. Guru Sishya parampara will not be there. So, but if in the process of becoming Tattvadarshi, as soon as if you are a Tattvadarshi, your body vanishes or you fall dead, means that doesn't work. So, Bhashyakara puts a note that Prarabdha can only be exhausted by Upabhogena. Like that he explicitly mentions here. Same thing he mentions even in Brihadaranyaka Bhashya and other places also. Even in the Brahma Sutra also it is talked about. Because the Jivan Mukti also we have to accept. Jivan Neva Mukti. While living only, the Jnani is a Mukta. And also from the Jnani's own standpoint, Jnani is an Akarta. Even while he is doing, he is an Akarta only. For the Jnani, there is no Prarabdha also. But Prarabdha has to be still functioning because it has already started. And it can only be exhausted by fully experiencing. It is like the best analogy we give is of a fan, correct? You switch off the fan, means there is no more electricity for the fan, correct? The cause for the fan to rotate is gone, but still already there is a momentum there. So until that momentum is used up, it has to be rotating, it will rotate. Like that only for the jnani also there is no sanchita and also any other karma also is not there, agami karma and all that. But prarabdha has already started. Its momentum is there. It is like a mukta issue also. Bhashyakara gives another analysis. Mukta issue means what? Already the arrow has left the bow. So prarabdha karma is like a mukta issue. In fact, that analogy can apply to your astrology also. So prarabdha karma is a mukta issue. But how do you do prayaschitta? Prayaschitta is like another issue, which another arrow which goes and tries to change the direction of the original arrow. Correct? It is like the missile defense and all that nowadays we have. Already your enemy has sent one missile. What do? You send another missile and intercept it and all that. That is the prayaschitta karma. Anyway, here the idea is prarabdha is like the arrow which has already left the bow. It will only stop once its momentum comes to a halt. Okay, that force is all used up, then it will fall. Or it is like the fan which is rotating. Even if you switch off, it will still be rotating for some time. That is how the Jnani and Tattvadarshi, they are there to teach and carry forward this tradition, teaching tradition. So that note Bhashyakara puts there, that prarabdha karma can only be exhausted by upabhoga. Upabhoga means by experiencing it because it has already started. So that is about how jnana frees yourself from all karma. And then again, Bhagavan praises this jnana. Okay, this also is quoted by many people. The next verse. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddhaha kalenatmani vindati. So there is nothing like this jnana. Okay. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate. So there is no purifier like jnanam. There is no purifier like jnanam. There is nothing like that equivalent to that because it frees you from everything. In fact, it shows you are already pure. That is the best kind of purification, correct? Like I already said, if something is really impure, how much ever you make it pure, again it will become impure because everything is subjected to entropy in this creation. Even if you don't use something, whatever is put together will decay or whatever, correct? It's not going to, if you don't use a car for 5 years and it may not even start then, or even you keep a battery for a couple of years, then it loses its virya, correct? There is no power in that. So things will fall apart even if you don't do anything. Means you have to keep on doing something to maintain it. That itself is a pain. Because that entropy is a natural, it is natural, correct? That any system left to itself is only becoming more and more disorderly. That is the concept of entropy even in thermodynamics. That applies in general to everything. But here what we find is we were never impure. That's what jnana is showing. You are nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta, swabhavaha. Like that it is said in the Shastra. Generally, when Atma Swarupa is talked about, it is said as Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swabhava. It is always pure, it is always knowledgeable, or it is always the conscious being, it is always free, it was never bound. So that's what you have to discover. So that is the nature of oneself, and Jnanam shows you that, therefore it is the greatest purifier. Even though you may do prayasita karma and all that, or punya karma you are doing to neutralize your papa, that all that cannot purify you totally. As long as the kartritva bhava is there, you will always have guilt. And you will always have fear also. Others also can do something to you. So you cannot escape all these things. And if ragadvesha is there, then so many more problems are there. Along with ragadvesha, means krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all these things also will come. So all these impurities are always there, and one can be subjected to all these impurities. If you are not alert enough, you can get it. Even that's why the life of yoga also one has to be alert all the time. If you are not alert, you can easily fall into some thinking pattern and all that, which can lead you to all these impurities again. But jnanam means what? You are totally free from all that. And so how does one gain this? Okay. How do you gain this jnanam? I already told you jnanam is gained only in your antakarana, correct? Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. That is the Upanishad Vakya. But here Bhagavan also says the same thing. Tat swayam yoga samsiddhaha kalena atmani vindati. Atmani here is in your mind, in your antakarana. This jnanam you gain only in your antakarana. So understand that if somebody is giving you some mystic ideas that you have to go beyond your mind and all that, that is all not as per the Sampradaya. Sampradaya is very clear. Only a mind which is prepared by a life of yoga, a mind which is exposed to the teachings of the Guru and the Shastra, that is ready. That's where the knowledge takes place. Because the ignorance also is there in the mind only. Understand that. It is only a karna dosha. The ignorance also is there in the mind. So knowledge has to take place only in the mind to destroy the ignorance. Brahman is beyond the mind. That's a different thing. Understand that. But Brahma Jnanam has to take place only in the mind. There is nowhere else. Swamiji used to say, that's why you need not say intellectual knowledge and all that. If there is a dental knowledge, then you can talk about intellectual knowledge. Unnecessary adjectives are useless. In fact, Swamiji was very particular about not using unnecessary adjectives. So one of the unnecessary adjective he used to say is this intellectual knowledge. All knowledge is intellectual only. There is no special intellectual knowledge. If you can say there is a dental knowledge or some other knowledge, then you can talk about intellectual knowledge. But all knowledge is only, you need not say hot fire like that. Fire is hot, that's its very nature, correct? So, like that, Bhagavan here says, Tat Swayam Yoga Samsiddhaha means what? One who has, Yoga Samsiddhaha means what? One who has attained this preparedness through yoga. One who has qualified himself for this knowledge through Karma Yoga. Because that gives Chitta Shuddhi, and so the one who has prepared or acquired the prerequisites through the yoga, that person is Yoga Samsiddha. So one who has attained a certain Siddhi in yoga, Karma Yoga. That same Siddhi only Bhagavan talks later also, I said. Swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim nindati manavaha, Bhagavan says there. Same thing here. Yoga Samsiddha. Okay. So Yoga Samsiddha, Swayam means what? Swayam means naturally here. In the course of time, because Kalena also Bhagavan says. So again, you should not ask how long it will take and all that. I told you already. Bhagavan is giving you assurance. Kalena Swayam means by itself it will happen. You do all the things which is to be done, knowledge will take place. That's what I am telling you. Knowledge is not dependent on your free will. You subject yourself to the pramana vyapara. You prepare yourself with all the prerequisites. Knowledge has to take place. There is no other way. Whether you like it or not, knowledge will take place. It is like same thing. Like you go in some place and you have to close your nose, correct? Because knowledge is taking place. Knowledge is not, it is not as per your will or anything. Knowledge is Vastu Tantra. However is the Vastu, in keeping with that, the knowledge has to take place. You cannot will it and make it something else. As long as your pramana is proper and your mind is backing up and all that, correct, you have a prepared mind, knowledge has to take place whenever the pramana, prameya and the pramatru, the known, the means of knowledge and the knower, if these three are aligned and they do not have any defects, means knowledge has to take place. Knowledge is not dependent on your will. So here also Bhagavan says Kalena. So over a period of time, by itself, Swayam, it will happen. So your role is only to subject yourself to the Pramana Vyapara. Means you go and sit in a class, listen to the Shastra, or prepare yourself with all proper attitudes and all that. Once all that is done, knowledge takes place over a period of time, or at the right time, we have to say. But it's not just an event. That also we have to be clear. Knowledge means it is a growing clarity, keeps on growing. It is like that Polaroid camera photo. I don't know. Many of us are all old enough to know the Polaroid camera. If you take a photo, it doesn't immediately, you can't see anything. That doesn't mean that photo is not there, correct? Even like that, you go initially, sit in the Vedanta class, everything looks like clear only, but still there is some vagueness is there. You go out of the class again, you think that nothing, you have not gained anything. And as I told you, some others may even come and reinforce all these things. But you have to keep at it. So if you are patient, means over a period of time, what? That the photo you can see, because it slowly starts appearing. In the Polaroid photo, I don't know even today whether we get that camera or not. Maybe one or two like that we should keep, I think, for Vedanta class. Okay, take photo of the class, keep it. Now you see, you can't see anything initially, but at the end of the class, you can see the whole thing. That's a nice thing to have, I think. Some kind of, at least in some museum and all, we have to retain all this old equipment, correct? In fact, our generation, we have seen so many of these equipments which have become already obsolete, correct? Totally obsolete. A newly born child will have no idea about what is a telegram, telex, or even postcard and things like that. My entire 4 years in college, I didn't even use, I never used to write even a letter. We were only writing postcard. That was in those days it was 5 paisa or 15 paisa or something. That's all. Nobody knows many of these things. And then we used to send telegram, telex, fax machine also is gone now. Correct. But even now in government, I think some people still have fax and all that. But for all practical purposes, in those days, if you set up an office, first thing we'll buy an integrated fax, phone, everything together, one machine we'll buy. And you'll feel so happy. All these nice new machines we have in the office and all that. But nowadays, even the landline phone has become optional, correct? Most of our houses now we don't have that. All that dialing phone, everything is gone, I think. And cassette players are gone. CD is already gone. So like that, so many. In fact, the speed of obsolescence is very much nowadays. Correct. I think in every decade, totally certain things are vanishing just like that. Anyway, the idea here is whatever I am saying that you have to prepare yourself, and then over a period of time, knowledge will take place in your mind only. That is the important point here. Again, Atmani Vindati. In your mind only, you have to gain this knowledge. Nowhere else, knowledge will take place. So that Bhagavan is very clear and continuing. This is the next one. Verse is a very important verse again. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparas sanyatendriyaha jnanam labdva param shantim achirenadhigacchati. So Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. So the Shraddha is very important for us. Already we have talked about it. So Shraddha means faith, like that people are translating. But faith word itself, I'm not very happy with that, because in other traditions, faith means even if something is illogical or goes against established knowledge, you have to believe it. They say that. That's not at all our understanding of Shraddha. So Shraddha is Astikya Buddhi. Like that only, if you take our traditional commentary, Shraddha means Bhashyakara or other Acharyas also, they will put Astikya Buddhi simply. No, Astikyam means what? Asti. From Asti only Astikyam comes. Means Astikyam means it is. Like that you accept. What is that? It is, you are accepting something as it is there means, what is that? Whatever is said by the Shastra, you say it is there. You are not doubting that. Means you are giving the benefit of the doubt till the time you understand. Of course, certain things you have to always give benefit of the doubt because it can never be proved in this life. For example, if the Shastra says there is Swarga, it is Nitya Paroksha, it is called. Means it is always indirect knowledge only. But we are calling it indirect knowledge because if you accept the Shastra as a pramana, whatever it says is knowledge only. Understand that it is valid knowledge. In fact, in this context, I also thought I will talk to you a little bit about pramana, but I can talk to you about pramana in the next class also. I will explain to you a little bit more because we are all Pujya Swamiji's greatest contribution itself, I would say, is that to present the Shastra as a pramana. Somehow that thing had got missed out in the last, particularly when the Shastra went from Sanskritam into English and all this paperback books started coming, many people started writing everything in English. They totally missed that. Many times Pramana is translated as authority also in English books. It's not authority. Understand that. So pramana is translated as authority. That means in fact, it's a very negative word, correct? You have to submit to authority. It becomes something like that because they have no other idea. I think Westerners' concept is totally different. For them, their scripture means you have to submit to that, whatever it says, whether it is, like I said, whether it may be illogical, it may go against established knowledge, still you have to believe. But here, pramana is prama karanam, correct? It's very clear. Prama is knowledge. Karanam means it is the means to attain a knowledge. So they should have translated it as instrument of knowledge or means of knowledge. And so this pramanam, to understand pramanam, we should also understand what is our understanding of knowledge itself, how knowledge takes place. So these are all very important topics, and I think we will spend some time on that. But as of now, this Shraddhavan Labhate Jnana means what? The one who has Shraddha, he gains knowledge, Bhagavan says. Means one who has accepted the Shastra as a Pramana and also the words of the Guru. Because the Shastra comes to you only through the words of the Guru. So to both of that, you give the benefit of the doubt. Even if I don't understand initially, I don't say that the teacher and Shastra are wrong. I question my own understanding. I try to understand it. You can still do pariprashna and all that. That's why you have to question. You have to get it clarified. Until your own doubts are cleared, we can never call it jnanam, correct? In fact, the samshayatma like that, Bhagavan will be doing ninda later on. Doubt is the greatest problem. Okay? One who is always doubting everything means that person is not going to gain anything here or hereafter, like that Bhagavan will do ninda later on. But here, giving benefit of the doubt, you have to do to the Shastra and the teacher. Then only you are giving the time for the jnanam to blossom, okay, for the jnanam to take place. If you don't have Shraddha, previously Bhagavan said, Kalena Atmani Vindati, but you will not be even giving the time for the jnanam to actually take place. So that Shraddha is so important. But Shraddha alone is not enough. Bhagavan gives three things in this verse. That's the beauty. If you have these three things, surely you will gain jnanam. What are the three things? Because Bhashyakara in the Bhashya also gives an interesting word. He says, only Shraddha alone is not enough because some people are Manda Prasthanaha, he says. Means slow starters. See, some people are there, okay, I believe whatever you say, or I believe whatever Shastra says, but they don't do anything. They will not come to the class. They are not ready to study the Shastra also. They don't have any commitment. Now that is not going to help, correct? If you are a mumukshu, you have to show commitment. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to always say you have to burn all your boats. Means you are on one side of the river means you are all regular worldly people are there. Now you become a mukshu. Jignasu means what? You are crossing the river on the boat. But don't even keep the boat there. You burn the boat also. Means you are never going to go back again. Is that clear? You go to the other side, burn your boat. Means that is what commitment is. Correct? Now how does Bhagavan say that here? He says tatparaha. Means your only commitment in life is now gaining this jnana. Correct? That tatparatvam is very, very important. In fact, that's why even if you listen to all these classes on online and all that, we are conducting classes, correct? But we don't know how you are listening, where you are sitting. Anybody can have one phone and sit anywhere. What you are doing, whether you are really paying attention, we don't see you also. So most of the online classes we are conducting only for our own sake, mostly. We really don't know whether anybody is really benefiting. Some people attend regularly, some people are irregular in that. So all that means no commitment really. The commitment means if you really want to learn Vedanta, you have to learn in a residential setup. You have to come and live with the Guru. Even there, you have to have a certain discipline to not get distracted because nowadays Distractions are there everywhere. In fact, we should ban the mobile phone in the class and all that. I think that's even better. Otherwise, some people come to the class, they are also having the mobile all the time. Even you put it in silent or vibration, it starts vibrating. Then you are you are also vibrating along with that. What happened? Okay, somebody has called. Means you have no focus, correct? You can't focus in the class. So, like I said, during our Gurukula Vasam, we were still blessed in one way because we didn't have TV, we didn't have internet, we didn't have mobile. All 3 years, we were really secluded in a way because Anekati, the other thing is, like I said, Rishikesh is a very distracting place. But Anekati is a real forest, correct? You don't have anything. You cannot come out and even walk out that easily. If you want to go to the nearest chai shop, it will be 1 kilometer away somewhere in a village. You don't have anything. It's literally a forest. And so we never used to even venture out of our campus. You are, also we didn't have much time because our whole schedule was so packed that mostly you didn't have time for anything. The only time we used to have was post lunch up to 3:30. But at the time also you have to wash your clothes, and we even used to have our own study sessions and all that, self study or group study and all that. But otherwise we hardly had any time. So the whole day will go off like that. But that is the kind of commitment you should have. If you have that commitment, then jnanam will take place. There is no doubt about that. So tatparaha, you have to be tatparaha. So one who is committed to that knowledge. The tatparatvam is so important. Bhashyakara says that. That's why he says even just having shraddha also is not enough. Or just being committed also is not enough. Understand that. Because if you are committed to moksha, but you don't believe in the shastra and all that, you said, I am going to sit and do meditation myself. Means what? That also is not going to help. Meditation is not a means of knowledge. Understand that. Meditation can prepare your mind, but you are still the same ignorant person. Whoever is meditating, as long as he is taking himself as a meditator, only it is a problem. Because the knowledge is that you are not a meditator. That knowledge will not come from meditation itself. That I am not a meditator. Is that clear what I am saying? Or whatever experience you may gain from meditation also is not enough. Experience by itself is dumb. In fact, we don't lack experience of Atma, in fact. Experience of Atma is not at all a problem. I am, everybody knows. But then I am a samsari is a conclusion. Is that clear? I am is fine. But I am so and so means problem starts. That is only a notion. That is a wrong notion, in fact. Because I am so and so, whatever it may be, is not intrinsic to me. That nobody recognizes that. Because even that individuality comes and goes. It's not there always. But you hold on to that, then suffer. So I am so and so is a conclusion, is a notion, and that has to be corrected. For that, the pramana has to work. As long as you think I am a karta bhokta, doing any amount of karma, whatever karma it may be, correct? Whether it is kaikam karma, vachikam karma, manasam karma, it's all still karma. The karma itself will not make you free from being a karta. In fact, it will only make you even more of a karta, correct? Because you are still taking yourself as a karta and keep on doing something, means that's not going to help you. So just being tatparaha, you may be interested in moksha, but you end up in the wrong place, means it's not going to help you. You have to have shraddha in the shastra also. You cannot bypass the shastra and guru and then say that I will become jnani or something. That also will not work. Both are required. Shraddhavan, tatparaha. If you are both of these things, the third one most probably you will gain them. What is that? Sanyatendriyaha. Sanyatendriyaha means what again? Sayyataha means samyama, means self-mastery. You have a certain mastery over all your indriyas. That is also an important qualification Bhagavan is saying, because even if you are having Shraddha, you are committed, but still if you are allowing your mind to go all over, it's not going to help. That means you don't have any focus. You come to the class, but you are not able to focus. Whatever the Guru is saying will go over your head. That is also not going to help. So you should be able to withdraw yourself. Because some people come to the Gurukulam or come to a camp like this, still you are worrying about what is happening in my home. Did I lock properly? Did I, did I put my gas off or not? All these problems are there. Or is my bathroom still leaking? Did I keep some tap open? All these issues can come. You are still thinking about something, or you are thinking about something else. You are worried about your children, your spouse, whatever. It's not going to help you, correct? You have to come here means you have to be focused in whatever is being taught here. That means you should be able to withdraw yourself from all other external activities and then be one pointed in this pursuit for which you have come here, correct? So that is also an important thing. A certain mastery over your indriyas, your body mind sense complex itself, not only indriya, but you should have a certain mastery over it and ability to focus on whatever we want to do here. So these three, if you have, means what? You will get jnanam. There is no doubt about that. Jnanam kalena atmani vindati. You can connect it with the previous verse. Definitely you will get jnanam over a period of time. There is no doubt in that. Understand that. And once you get this jnanam, what happens? Param shantim achirena adhigacchati. Achirena means what? Quickly. Not chiram. Chiram means long time. Chirakalam means chiranjeevi also we say, correct? What is the meaning of chiranjeevi? Means one who lives. Chiranjeevi means what? One who lives for a long time. Means normally we consider so many people as chiranjeevis, means they have still not died. They are all living with us. Hanuman, Ashwathama, like this we have a list of chiranjeevis. In fact, every day in the morning you are supposed to remember them also. There is actually a verses there remembering all these chiranjeevis. Anyway, so here achirena means is the opposite of chiram. Means you will quickly, it will not take long time. Again, Bhagavan says, so achirena adhigacchati, you will get it quickly. If you have these three things, you are going to gain the jnanam quickly, and by that what will happen? Param shantim adhigacchati achirena. So immediately you will get param shantim, he says, not just shanti. Because regular shanti even the mumukshu has to have, correct? When we say shamadhi shatka sampatti, the shamam itself is shanti only. So even as a seeker, you have shanti, a relative peace and all that you say, tranquility of the mind and all, correct? But that's not the shanti here. Understand, the jnani's param shanti is different from that. It is not based on the state of your mind. If the shanti is based on the state of the mind, you can never really attain real shanti. Understand that. Because the nature of the mind is to keep on going from one thing to the other at one point of or the other. Mind will become active. It can even have certain disturbances and all that. Nobody can avoid that. Then how do I gain param shanti? Means to know that you are not even the mind. That is the only way. Atma is always shantaha. It's the same thing like Shuddha also. If you are really an ashantaha and then become shantaha, that will never last. Is that clear? Again you will become ashantaha only. It's not the relative shanti which Bhagavan is talking about here. Param shanti, he puts an adjective of param. Why? This shanti is not dependent on the state of your mind. Is that clear? Mind may be however it is. Atma is always Shanta Swarupaha. It is Nitya Shantaha. Atma Shanti is not dependent on any state of mind, state of body, nothing. That's why we are able to see all these jnanis and all, even if they have some very bodily, they may be very weak and all that, correct? But they are not bothered by that, correct? So this Param Shanti means it is again knowledge that is my very Swarupa. This Shanti itself is Atma Swarupa, in fact. It is not dependent on any state of mind or state of body or state of Indriya and all that. None of these things really matter because you don't even have the identity with them, correct? You don't take them as Atma. And Atma is Nitya Shanta Swarupa. Previously I said Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Shanta also you add in that list. Shanta Swarupaha. That is the Atma. And recognizing that is Jnani gets this Param Shanti, Bhagavan says. So that is what we have to understand here. Means you can say absolute Shanti. It's not a relative Shanti we are talking about here. That's why even if you see the Jnani also in the Vyavahara has to react to different things. Jnani may get irritated and all that. But that doesn't mean Jnani has lost the Shantatvam. Because Jnani Shantatvam is not dependent on the state of the mind. That is the important thing. This is the real emotional freedom, correct? Because your Shanti is not based on the emotional state of your mind. That's why only this Jnanam can give you total freedom again. So, like this Bhagavan has beautifully talked about Jnanam. That if you don't have discriminative knowledge and again Shraddha, what will happen? Like that, Bhagavan will continue. We'll see all that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om